Okay, hello. Oh, hopefully that's not too loud. Oh, that's not what I want. Alrighty. Well, hopefully my mic's not too loud. Hello, everyone. Excuse me. Welcome to another stream, finally. Sheesh, it's been a while. Thanks for joining me on another programming stream. Those are the words I'm trying to say right now. Just a second. So today we're doing, I don't want to say it's like cleanup work, but basically I've been, I think I'd best explain the situation here. So what I've been doing is, admittedly, I've not been working as much probably as I should on this. I've had, I suspect, like a lot of people in general with the current state of the world have had, I don't know if it's directly related to that, but in general, just higher anxiety than I have normally. So it's made it a little hard to want to work on things, basically. I'm experiencing that everywhere. I haven't been playing guitar as much as I should be, yada yada. So regardless of all that, I've been working a little bit off stream on Tabltop. Not a ton, but a little bit. And the task that I was working on most recently was setting up a database. So I'm using Postgres. I don't know how PostgreSQL is the actual thing. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Anyway, so I was working on it, and I made some progress. I was basically just gonna make like a pretty basic schema and do that sort of thing. But halfway through, I sort of realized, I'm like, okay, my goal right now is to get an MVP onto people's phones as soon as possible, basically. Now, of course, things are weird because you can't play board games in person right now, for the most part. You can play with people home, I guess. Anyways, ignoring all of that, I want to get an MVP onto people's phones basically as soon as possible. Like, the quicker I can get like a closed beta test going or whatever, the better things are, right? That's the goal here. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, why am I spending the time to set up a database when you can't do half the shit you need to in the app? Like, obviously the database is important, right? Like, we're gonna have to store shit. It's still a requirement. It just felt odd that I was doing it right now. So today, what I'm hoping to sort of do is try and think of everything I can right now that we need to get done before, basically find the shortest path available to getting it on people's phones, and work from there, and try and prioritize things based on that, and try and think of all the things that we need to basically get to MVP status, and try and organize cards, and try and just get a general plan, because I, admittedly have never done a project big enough outside of like work to where I feel like this has been warranted. But every time I think about the app, I'm like, oh, sweet Lord Jesus, there are so many effing things I have to do. So I'm trying to, basically like narrow that down, be like, all right, what do I really need, not get overwhelmed about it, and really just figure things out. So admittedly, the first part of the stream may be kind of boring. I don't know if it's actually gonna be interesting because it's gonna be like making Trello cards and shit. And then after that, whenever we get done, I need to, we'll start on whatever. I probably won't go like all night, again, just because I'm thinking I probably might try and start doing more frequent, smaller streams, just so I'm doing them more, but I'm not overloading myself with, oh god, I have to sit here for 4 hours. But, maybe we might go 4 hours anyways, so who knows. Anyways, all that is to say, that's what we're doing today. That was kind of a ramble. If nothing else, the YouTube VOD, I think, will benefit from that more so than the people watching right now. So, and Seg and Jack, hello guys. How's it going? Yeah, and I'm doing fine for the most part. It's just, it's also rough too because I'm on Bug Fix Studio right now at work, and, I wouldn't say there's like a ton of bugs or anything, but I just have this really bad problem where I get like overwhelmed very easily about things, and so, like, I can't show my work Trello here, right? But my work Trello is basically like this entire column is just like, these are all things I have to do, and like more than half of them are very small, low priority, like either like bugs or text changes or whatever that truly take like 5 minutes for me to finish, right? But ignoring all that, what happens when I like, open up my laptop in the morning and go on Trello and be like, all right, what are we doing today? And I just see a list of like 15 things that are assigned to me, and I'm just like, oh god, I'm like, the world is over. So that doesn't help either. And again, I'm not like overloaded with work right now. Truly, it's really not. It's not that bad. It's just that instead of working on like one big project, I'm doing a lot of context switching and like a lot of like little things, and I have to be able to like, you know, if something comes up, I'm answering questions during the day about that, all that sort of thing. So that's probably not helping because I normally get more anxious when I'm on bug fix duty anyways, just for that reason. So anyways, but yeah, it's been hard to get a consistent stream, but I'm also not like beating myself up for not doing it because things are weird right now, and I still don't really have a real schedule at all in my life right now. Like, I'm on a line to work from 9 to 5, but that's about it. So, but today, towards the end of the day, I had coffee a little later in the day. I was like, we ordered soda with dinner. I was like, fuck it, man. I was like, we're streaming today. God damn it. I'm just going to do it because I needed to do this also. So, and without further ado, let's get started. So, is that actually what critical path is? Is this where I'm doing fancy agile stuff now that I don't know about? My team of one definitely needs agile. It stresses me out just thinking about it. Yeah, it's truly not that bad. I think most of the stress is self-imposed, you know. So I'm thankful that I work with a lot of very good people, and it's not like, you know, our customer service folks, they're not like breathing down my neck to like get this shit done, and I still like get it done in a good time. Like, it's almost entirely self-imposed, you know. I don't have anyone being like, you know, if you don't get these things done by next week, you're fired or anything. It's just like, I just stress myself out by seeing a large list of things assigned to me. So, okay, so now also is a great time to sort of go over, and I don't know if I have a document for this. Project notes, project documents. All right, so we're gonna make basically an MVP spec. It's not gonna be a real spec. It's basically general MVP outline. Okay, great. So let's talk about features we want to be in the app. So the obvious one that needs to happen is check-in. So if you're watching and you're not sure what the project is about, I have a good, somewhat brief explanation available that you can read. So that should give you a high-level overview, basically. So because this is a check-in focus thing, we need check-ins, obviously. So the check-in flow needs to exist. So that's what we've been working on for the most part. So this needs to include descriptions, like / captions, which are already done, ratings, photos. So this is something actually that I was thinking of the other day. That so the photo stuff, if you watch the last stream I did of this, I basically finished the photo things. I don't have the app running right now, but the photo flow in terms of like picking photos to attach to your post is pretty much done. Now there's some questions of like, I was thinking through this when I was doing the database stuff, is that I don't really know how I'm gonna store photos. Really unclear on that. So one of the things I was thinking is that perhaps it might be worth getting a version of check-in out without photos. Now, again, I may not need to, right? Just because it might be really easy to do photo storage and that sort of thing, or maybe I could like bullshit. But I think that's something I want to distinguish, is basically if I had a really shitty, we'll say like an alpha version of this, could that exist without photos on the check-ins? And I think, yes, it wouldn't be great, but I think it could probably exist without photos. So, I think photos... So yeah, that's one of the things I'm going to try and think about here too, is that like, do these things that I'm working on right now, are they absolutely essential, if that makes sense? But anyways, I just want to make a distinction to that so that I can be like, if the check-in flow is like, we'll say it's like the 80-20 effect, right? So if you haven't heard about this, it's like when you're doing things, there's a 80% of the effort that does most everything we need, and sort of the final 20, which is like polish and that sort of thing, can be really difficult. And a lot of times it's often better just to finish the 80 and move on to something else. I could be butchering that interpretation. My boss has talked about it a few times and I don't remember exactly, but I think that's the general gist, is that 80% of the product is really what matters, and that 20% polished stuff you can really defer till later. It's still important and it still helps for a good thing, but the you gotta think about the value the 80% is going to create. And the thing is the app doesn't exist without check-ins at all, but the app can exist without photos on check-ins. Again, not ideal, but it can exist without it. So keeping that in mind, with what all that long ranting thing is supposed to mean, is that what do I consider absolutely essential for the check-ins? And I was thinking about this, and I think that friend tagging, so tagging friends in your check-ins, I think is actually more important than I think is more important than photos, is what I came to here. So then let's go optional stuff here. I'm really ranty today and I apologize about that. So I guess optional is probably not the correct word. Not immediately needed is probably a better descriptor for this. So photos and location tagging, and then result tagging, aka who won. / just the final state of the game. There are some actually complicated things, I think, here, because the biggest example, right, is that I play a lot of cooperative games and really like those. You can't, in a lot of cooperative games, right, it's either the entire group won or the entire group lost. So how do we represent that? Some games have Betrayal at House on the Hill, I think, is a great example of this, where most instances of Betrayal at House on the Hill, it's a traitor versus everyone else. So it's either the traitor wins or the group of people wins. So like, how do we represent that? And again, this also is like very much not a like a necessary feature right off the bat. This is something I think is going to be really cool and has a lot of neat potential, but also like could ship fine without it. So. And like, that's the thing I think is important, right? Like the quicker, if I think the core idea of this app is really good, which I do, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be making it. The quicker I get the core idea out to people, the better, right? And then once we have the core idea, there's all these like, yes, a stretch feature is absolutely like the way to describe it. Yeah, is that, yeah, it's going to be really nice. And I still think it's very cool. And it's not that I'm like abandoning it. It's just that like, I think people can still be attracted to the base idea of the app without this being in there. But like scoreboards, which is something I really want to add, kind of relies on this whole result tagging thing. But anyways, cool. So I think that's it for the check-in flow. So you have your descriptions and the captions, ratings, the rating of the game, and then being able to tag friends that you played with. I think that's it. So then let's go ahead and talk about the feed. Okay, so this is where you're viewing other people's check-ins. So there's a few parts to this. So like your feed is your friends probably only. Do I have account creation set up in some form? No. That's gonna go on the list. I haven't even touched that at all. I was sort of gonna defer doing like profile creation stuff because that can get kind of complicated, and yeah, it's needed, but I was gonna like do the core features first and then start like locking everything behind logins. So your feed is probably only your friends, presumably. Or okay, so I guess friends is a strong thing. So this is another distinction I haven't made yet, is that like, should there be a concept of friends or should you be following people? I think is like an important distinction to make. And in some ways I think, so let's talk about the two distinctions here. So the way the friend system I think really shines is that when it comes to like tagging people, ideally you don't want to be like tagged by randos on any post. I think that seems kind of bad. So like, for example, I don't think this is gonna happen, right? But like, imagine like some like celebrity like was on the platform, right? So like Taylor Swift has a Tabltop account, right? Like, everyone is going to try and say they were playing games with Taylor Swift. And, like, maybe we should just allow that, and that's going to happen. I don't know. But it's like if you had a friends list where it's like a mutual, like you both have accepted to be each other's friends, and you can only tag people from that friends list, I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, sort of the counterpoint of this, right, is that you can imagine your personal feed, if that's only people you've both accepted, like, if that's only, like, your friends, right, then it's not going to be as much content, and, like, you know, so I think this is an example. This is probably a more relevant example. Let's say I don't remember his name, the guy who runs Stonemaier Games, which makes Wingspan, Scythe, and they're based out of here in St. Louis. I think it's like Jamie Stonemaier? I don't remember his name. I'm not going to try and remember it. Anyways, if he makes a tabletop account, I absolutely want to follow that dude because he, you know, makes really good board games, and I assume his taste in board games is going to be really cool. He's probably going to play a lot of interesting things, that sort of stuff. So I would almost certainly follow him. But, like, you know, he's a fairly prominent member of the board game community, so, like, I'm not going to, you know, he's probably not going to, like, be my friend or anything. But I would be interested in what he's playing. So I think there probably needs, what I'm getting to here is I think there needs to be both, right? So in terms of tagging people, you need friends, or some mechanisms you don't tag randos, I think, so people don't, like, tag you in random stuff. People could use that to spam, too, all sorts of crap. But I think your feed of the people you're seeing and the games they're playing, I think needs to be more of a follow system. Because I think there's a lot of people who you would find interested in what games they're playing, but, you know, aren't necessarily going to want to, like, friend you to do that. Hopefully that makes sense. Also, what's going on, Will? Could have the alpha be all anonymous to avoid accounts at first? Interesting. So I probably would have accounts ready for the alpha, I think. I think accounts are still, like, accounts have to be there. Yeah, I feel pretty strongly about the fact that I'm going to have accounts. It's more just, like, I wanted the basic flow of the app to work, you know? In addition to friends, you can add proximity if at one of the game bars. Ooh. Yeah, so that's the other thing, right, is that I don't do this because I just go with friends, right? But, like, let's say you're playing, you're at a space where you're playing a game with, like, a random person you've never played before. So you're, like, I think board game shops probably have, like, board game nights, or, like, there's a St. Louis area, like, board gamers meetup. So if I go to that, right, the people I know there, it's my first time meeting them. Maybe I don't want to be friends with them immediately, but, you know, those people I might want to tag. I'd tag them in my game, right? You maybe could find people nearby or playing similar games, but not be able to view their account, just there are people playing it. Okay. So I need to work through this and make something productive here. So I'm actually going to get rid of the feed part here for a second. So let's talk about posts. So posts are created via the check-in flow. Now, I'm sort of ambiguously naming them posts because I think there are other features that I'm interested in having here. So yeah, if the privacy decisions I haven't thought through, but we're thinking through them now. It's live, baby. So posts, let's talk about privacy of posts. So it makes sense to me to have multiple options here. So there are public posts and there are friends only, I think for sure. Okay, these two make a lot of sense. So visible to anyone that has an account, probably. Unsure of situation where someone isn't logged in. And so also to make a note here, this point isn't really relevant right now, though, because the app will require you to make an account. But might matter a long time later in the future. Might matter way down the line if there is a web app or something. So this basically means I should just ignore this right now because I don't have a web app right now and no plans to currently. So public is visible to anyone that has an account. We'll just go with that. That's basically how it's going to work. Friends only, only viewable by people you've accepted. Friends with. Okay, so I guess this is another thing, right? Is that should it be like friends only or followers only? This is like some language distinction here that. Okay, I think of an interesting way to think about this, right? Is that so I have an Instagram account. As far as I know, you can tag, I think, whoever the hell you want in Instagram photos. Let me look. Here, let me click on a photo, hit next, and then try and see if I can like tag someone. All right, so tag people. Yeah, I can tag whoever the hell I want. You can just tag whoever on Instagram. Now, Instagram also has a tagged photos section. Now, do I get to determine whether or not... okay, so Instagram has a, I don't know if you can see it, has tagged posts, and it says, tag controls, it says there's a manually approved tags section. Okay. So by default, presumably, because I've never messed with these settings before, anyone can tag you in a photo, and it shows up in these tagged posts, which I believe tag posts are like public to everyone, I think is how that works. But you can restrict it. But you can also have private accounts on Instagram. I don't know, man. I truly don't know. So we're gonna kind of make this a little weird right now. So aside from public and friends only, there's also gonna be a followers only. I don't know though. I really hesitate with this, right? Because it's like, if you're putting this out there, okay, here's the other reference I'm gonna go to, right? Is that I need to look at like another like check-in based social media thing to see how they handle things because I'm interested. I guess before I do that, just sort of articulate through things. I could see the argument for wanting to have something like a private post, because the reality is that some people are gonna want to. So here's the other thing, right? So Board Game Geek has a. So if you don't know Board Game Geek, they're like one of the biggest board game websites. They have a bunch of stuff on here. What they have as well is they have a. Where is it? I have to sign in. I don't remember where it is. Community. Okay, I don't remember where it is. Anyways, they have a basically a thing that allows you to track plays of your games. Okay, so it allows you to say, hey, I played this game, and I think you can input data about it. I'm not 100% sure. Some people are going to want to use Tabletop, I imagine, for exclusively that. People are not really going to care about the social aspect of it. What they're really going to care about is the fact that they have a log of all the games they've played in one place, how they felt about them. They're going to use it very similar to, like, if you've ever seen, if you watch anime a lot, My Anime List functions this way, right? Where your list can be public and there's social aspects to it, but a lot of people, like myself included, just use it as a way of tracking, this is what shows I've watched, this is what shows I'm planning to watch, that sort of thing. I expect that's going to be a use case, and I don't mind that use case. But I wonder how much I should accommodate that, I guess, is another question. And maybe I'm going too deep down that rabbit hole, And I'm sorry, I'm not reading chat at this point. You maybe can find people nearby or playing similar games to be able to view their... Okay, yeah, sorry, I read that already. The post could inherit the preferences of the tagged person. Like the two people's circle merge. Sure, okay. The problem is, though, right, is that what if you have a friend that... So I guess this is sort of an interesting thing, right? So, like, a lot of social media networks have the concept of, like, private and public accounts. The private accounts, usually you have to, like, request to follow them. But the thing is that, like, I can tag... So, like, on Instagram, for example, you can tag people in these... I say this because I'm pretty sure Nikki has a private account, and I tag her and stuff. So you can tag people who have private accounts, and they can see they're tagged, right? But they you can't, like, view their account still, right? So the post is sort of in its own... The post inherits the privacy decisions of the poster. And Twitter's the same way, right, too, right? Because Twitter, you can have private profiles, but you can still @ people that have private profiles, I believe. That may not be true. Let me look. Yo, John!
Is your mother still a visit doc sidebars?
Thanks so much for the resub, John. How's it going, dude? Johnny, do you play baseball? Sorry, hold on. I don't know if this is the case. Anyways, I don't know if you can @ people on Twitter if they have a private account and you're not requested to follow them. I don't know. But anyways, so I'm trying to think of the flow here. So basically, I think we could even just say all posts are public. What are the reasons you want to make a post not public? The reasons you would want to make a post not public is basically like, you know, honestly, we could just defer. We could even defer this decision, say everything's public right now, and then introduce like private accounts later down the line also. So maybe behind this project, what is the idea to basically get a process course reviewing board games selling? So it's a check-in based social media system. So think the closest comparisons I can make are something like Goodreads or Untapped, if you've used either of those. So it's usually after you finished playing or like in the middle of playing, right? So it's less of the inviting thing. It's more of a, hey, I'm playing this game with these people. This is what I thought about the game in terms of like rating and like you describing your experience. And, you know, here are some photos basically. So it's more of just like sorry, I mentioned earlier that some people are going to use this not for the social aspect, but to keep track of what games they've played and how they felt about them. So my use case personally, once I make this, is that I want a hybrid of both things. So one, I value the idea of like posting, hey, I was playing board games with these people because I think board games are a cool social activity. But also I have a lot of times where I want to recommend board games to people, but I like just forget the names of games I've played. And the most common example is I tell a lot of people now that I'm like, cooperative board games are really effing fun. And I want to be able to be like, what are the cooperative board games I've played so I can like give people a list of shit. Because I remember some of them, but not all of them. There's some that I've only played once or twice, but were really fun. And I just haven't gotten a chance to play next. So yeah, that's the basic spiel of like what posts do in that regard. It's probably the best bet. I assume you mean deferring it. I think that's probably I kind of agree actually. So basically, this is what's going to happen is that everything's going to be public for now. Whatever. And then later, I think I add private accounts where people have to request to follow you, essentially. So, this is going to be the default behavior. Private accounts or something else might come later. Yeah, I think that's just the easiest way. So everything's going to be public. Sorry. You'll be able to fix that later. Don't put anything that you know, again, it's not a huge deal. It's not a Twitter or Facebook where all posts are intended to be pretty personal. Yeah, exactly. And that's how I feel about Untapped, right? Is that, like, you know, when I post something on Untapped, like, I think it's public. I literally don't even know what the privacy situation is on Untapped posts. Because it's like, yeah, I'm drinking this beer, and, like, this is how I rated it. And, like, that is not in any way, like, you knew where I was drinking the beer, I guess, which is, like, personal information, but it doesn't really matter. And so as far as tagging goes, so let's talk about that now. So tagging in posts. I'll actually put it up and at this point. So tagging friends. So this is sort of a separate but related argument. Probably you should just have it so where anyone can tag you in a post for right now. I don't love the idea. I don't know. I think that one presents more problems than the post privacy. Because assuming, I don't know though, there's so many friends edge cases here, right? Like there can be so much friction. Again, let's imagine you're going to like a board game meetup, which again, one exists in St. Louis, so I assume there are other places. You're playing a new game with a bunch of new people, probably, unless you're like a regular, but let's assume you're not, right? Then you're gonna like want to post it and you're gonna want to add these people, right? And you're gonna be like, hey, you know, what's going on? If you're in a situation like that, though, maybe you just add them as friends, but then you have to wait for them to accept the friend request before you can tag them. So the post process is like delayed, and then you're gonna forget to post it and whatever. So maybe that's not ideal. Liking something enough to tag them, yeah. Yeah, again, what if you're like a temporary thing? You don't really know these people, you don't care, but you're gonna be like, yeah, we were all playing together. Maybe you'll talk to them later. So I wonder if we just say F it for right now. You can tag anyone you want. There are some, I think, spam concerns with that, right? But like maybe I just deal with those if they come up. We don't know how people are going to use this until I get it in their hands. So for now, you're able to tag anyone. There are probably some issues that need to be looked at here. But those can be addressed after we see how people are using the feature. So that's the other thing, right? Where this is a classic example of like, I could sit here and really overthink this for like the next hour. But the reality is that I'm probably gonna do some more overthinking because they're like, you know, there are some issues I think that if I don't think about them before and mitigate them, it's bad. But for the most part, it's like, all right, let's get it to people, see how they like it, and then we'll deal with it later. Yeah, exactly. Spam is probably not going to be a problem at the beginning of the app's lifespan, right? You know, if we're talking like the app kind of blows up a little bit and like it gets a large user base, then like, yeah, I'll probably need to spend some time eradicating spam. But even that's like, nearly impossible nearly an impossible problem to solve also. So that's what you're gonna be able to tag anyone. It's fine. It's just gonna reduce the friction. It's the least amount of work for me also because I don't have to do any checks. It's just you type in someone's username. Great, done. That's it. What's the downside of getting row tagged? Even if someone gets tagged, you can determine when notifications get passed along. Maybe they only get notified. Yeah, that's true too. I see. And now I'm curious as to how this Instagram. The Instagram part of this works is how does this settings, is it privacy, security, tags, manually approved tags? Yeah, that seems like a good control, right? Is that like, here's the other thing, right, too, is that the only reason it's bad, that the only reason Instagram requires that you like have to have like manually approved tags is because Instagram displays the tagged posts on your profile. We don't even have to do that, right? that's the other side of this, I guess, is how do posts you're tagged in show up? Do they show up on your profile? Will you be able to like repost plays? That doesn't make much sense to me. Probably an issue. Yeah, exactly. And the celebrity presence is hard too, right? Because it's like, you know, I gave the Taylor Swift example. I don't think Taylor Swift's really trying to interact with her fans over board games. And board games is like a big enough thing, but like also the board game celebrities are like kind of niche, you know? So I think tag posts don't have to carry as much weight. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm trying to imagine a situation. So just to hypothetical this out, because I'm trying to think of the actual use case here, right? Is that if you're sitting at a table with 3 of your friends, the 4 of you are playing a board game, does everyone make their own post on Tabletop? So let's imagine that for a second. Imagine the app exists, you use it regularly with your friends, whatever. Does everyone make their own post? And I'm interested if anyone has thoughts on what their first instinct would be in that situation. Just the coolest person posts, such as the law of the jungle. Sure. Because I'm not sure. So obviously, I think in most situations, right, if you have a group of 4 people, I don't think all 4 people are going to be like equally social media engaged, right? Is there a difference between checking into a game and posting about it? It's the same. There's only... So, this is kind of bad language right here. Posts right now are check-ins. They're the same thing. I think you want to get every person's review on the game as well as that individual session of play. That might not need to be a post. Wait. If you want to get every person's review on the game... Sorry, Will, I don't know if I understand. You're saying people... So you're saying in that situation, you only need 1 post for that? Okay. So my first instinct, right, is that if... Let's assume everyone's into social media at the table. I think everyone is going to want to, in theory, say they played the game. Okay? So if everyone's on board with the idea of, I log every time I play a game, I think all 4 people at the table are going to want to say they played the game. Now, how we accomplish that is sort of a different thing, right? So the easiest, simplest way, right, is that everyone makes their own post, does their own review, tags their friends, the whole thing. So that's very simple, right, because it's just they're 4 separate posts. But let's say, you know, you still want to remember that you played that, but you're lazy and don't want to type out a thing, whatever. But your friend is going to go, you know, take pictures and write the whole thing. How do you essentially say, this is where tagging comes into play, right? Is that tagging would be really nice, because if your friend tags you in the play, you can just say, sorry, I feel like I need to back up for a second. One of the things we're probably going to have is we're going to say, like, here are all the games you've played. This will probably be in your profile, which we haven't wrote down yet, but we will. If we have that, there are a lot of situations, right, where, again, you're with a friend, the friend makes the post that you've played, they checked in, and they tagged you in it. Ideally, you should just be able to say, yep, I played this, and it should get added to your list. But it can't get automatically added to your list. That's where rogue tags are bad, right? Is that if someone tags you in a random game, and you can even imagine a non-malicious tag too, right? Like maybe they just typed in the wrong username or something. And so if they tag you on a post, you wouldn't want that game to automatically get added to your profile because you never played it. It was just a bad tag. So that's the flow I'm wondering about here, is that if, let's say, your friend, you know, again, the easiest situation is we say, you have to make a post saying you played it. But then, like, at that point, what's the point of tagging friends? Someone makes a post of the game, and you as a player have to search out that game and join it or tag yourself in that game. Yeah, I think something like that makes sense, right? Or just it's like a confirmation. So maybe we have to have tag confirmations anyways for this to be useful. So that's like someone tags you in a game and you say, okay, yeah, yes, I'm here, I played it. And then that game, we'll say that post and the game automatically get added like to your feed or to your profile or whatever. I don't know though, that can seem kind of weird. Game check-in generated code that gets shared. Interesting. So it probably wouldn't be a code. I'd probably just make it to where you have, like, you'd get a notification and say, hey, someone tagged you in a post, and you can approve it. It's like a menu in the app or something, right? And then you just say, hey, yeah, someone tagged me, great, I approve the tag. Because I think this is a friction-reducing thing, right? Because, again, if you have 4 people at a table, I think, in theory, each person shouldn't have to make a post for them to record that they played the game. It could default to auto add with a menu. Oh. Ooh. Both of those are really compelling. Okay, so I'm gonna read this out. So it can be default auto add with a manual rejection, which I think is really good. That seems like it solves most of the problems. Or only manual adding. And manual adding, I mean, I would assume is... See, even manual adding, I think, has problems. I think that's it. I think auto adding with manual rejection is the way to go. So that way it's very easy for your friends to tag you in posts and make sure the tags are effective and they're good. It's very low friction on everyone's end. Manual adding is get notification, say yes, add to my list. Okay, got it. So I think either of those are fine. I think I'm more compelled by auto add because, again, we're talking about reducing friction here. If you're at a group of 4 people, everyone has tabletop accounts, but everyone doesn't want to take out their phone and write a thing. I know, because, like, personally, I don't love taking out my phone during board games. I like just generally playing. So one person makes the post, tags everyone. Everyone's profile automatically has the fact that they've played this game. Done. Great. And then you can remove tags as needed. Now, again, this sort of buckles under the whole celebrity thing, because if, like, some celebrity person's going to get tagged in a bunch of games, but we'll worry about that later. That's not an issue right now. And that's something we can build later. And I think auto is the easiest to build as well. Great, thank you. Group brainstorming session has officially been great. Okay, so this tag will indicate that they have played this game and will be added to their profile automatically. For now, you are going to be able to remove tags from your profile. This helps get rid of spam/random tags. Fuck yeah. I think the issues celebrity get fixed online and is the private profile or opt-in features. Yeah, so I think somewhat, but I also think the issue is that you're going to be able to follow people. I'm increasingly more convinced I think that's the correct way to do this. And if you follow a celebrity to see what games they're playing... Yeah, I mean, we might just have to restrict the tagging. Anyways, this is fine for now. We'll worry about the... Again, we have no users. So a issue that is solely caused by us having lots of users is right now not an issue at all. Because there are no users, so... Yeah, and Jack, I agree. I think like 90% of the time, if someone tags you in something, you want it to show up on your list. So this is fine for now. And I think this probably will have to be one of the first things I replace if we get a decent sized user base. But again, we don't have a user base, so this doesn't matter right now. So posts are created every check and flow. They're public to everyone. I actually don't know what much more there is to say about this. So they just display info from the check-in. This is something I was thinking about. Comments. I kind of like the idea of comments on posts. it was something I hadn't really thought about initially. I think I like them. I think the ability to say, ask questions about things, right? If you see someone play the game and you're like, hey, you know, I think there's a lot of use cases for this, right? If you see someone won, you can be like, what strategy did you use? How did that work out for you? Or if you've never played the game before, be like, you know, where did you buy this game? Or like, you know, how would it compare to X game? I think I can see it surviving without, but yeah, I think that's accurate. I think they'd be fine without it, but I think they're a good addition. So with that in mind, let's put it under the not immediately needed category. We can probably do the first part. Now, I will say that something I think is needed is I think there has to be some sort of interaction, right? So whether that's a like / favorite / whatever, that action, that whatever is saying like, oh, sweet. I think maybe that's not even necessarily super needed anyways. Maybe you don't need interaction with the posts. I feel like comments are better interaction than this is. So I would rather have so let's put I guess basically post interaction. The hard part here, right, is that if you want it to be like a social network, there has to be some sort of interaction between people, right? You know, so it feels like we probably need one of these at the start. I don't know, though. Now, consider someone plays a game 20 times and had a good comment chain one time. Should I be attached? So, to be clear, whenever you check in, the check-in has a game associated with it, but it stands on its own as a single post. So, if you checked into a game like 10 times, you know, when you go to your profile and someone looks at what games you've played, that game is only going to show up there once, but the check-ins are individual things. So with something like comments, the comments would be individual or would be attached to the post, not necessarily the game. So how that works basically is that you aren't really adding games to your like profile. You're saying, hey, I played this game, and as a result, you can like look at them later. So I think the Untapped example is like the easiest to compare to here, right? So Untapped says like you're like, hey, I drank this beer, but like the drinking of the beer is like its own thing. But you can go on your profile and say like these are all the beers you've drank. So a very similar thing is what I was thinking here, if that makes sense. Oh, my throat's already destroyed. Thinking about searching for a comment, maybe that's uncommon to do. I don't know if I've ever... Okay, yeah, there are points where I'd want to do that. Searching is also something I'm not going to have immediately. Yeah, some kind of display pull-up. Yeah, so hopefully there's going to be some sort of filtering. I haven't thought through that, though. Okay, so I think actually, now that I'm thinking about this, I think we need some sort of post interaction, right? Because there are two parts of social media. There's the consumption aspect, and then there's the creation aspect, right? So like, you know, there are a large number of people on social media that don't really post a lot. They just interact with things, right? They like scroll through Twitter and they like tweets and all that, but they don't really post a lot. So you need to provide for the people who I think are in that category of things. So I think you need some sort of interaction. Now, whether it's both of these or one of these is sort of up for debate. So I'm going to make a note here. So we may not need both types of these immediately, but some sort of interaction should be there for folks who don't really post a lot. Now, and I think there is value to be I think there's value to be had from this app without necessarily being able to like or comment on things. So that's why I'm a little hesitant here. Interaction can be added to your to-do list. Oh, yes. So I haven't gotten to that, but yes, I think I'm really into the idea of like having a queue of games you want to play. I think that's a good idea. Now, how we implement that is another question, and I don't know. Okay, so I don't really have anything that's not immediately needed right now. I think this is it for posts. It's just interactions, the info for the posts, some like other stuff. You're gonna need to be able to report posts for whatever. So spam slash. I'm less concerned about the spam one and more concerned about like hate speech, personal information, like yeah, like that sort of thing. Like there needs to be a report mechanism. It's a social media platform. That needs to be a thing. That could be cool too with friends or even people you don't know. Seeing their want to play list is a good way to get tons of interaction. Okay, yeah. I'm into that. I think we could generalize that as a list. Let's talk about that now, actually. Now that we're here. Or do we need to talk about... we should probably talk about profiles first. That'll be next, though. Let me... Lists. So, profiles. You're going to want to have an avatar / picture. Jesus Christ, I can't type. Username. Your profile is going to want to feature games you've played. Your feed of games, or feed of check-ins rather. May or may not include tagged check-ins as well. It probably will, I think. I think if you go to someone's profile, right, and you say, all right, what have they been playing? It makes sense that you'd want to see what they're tagged in as well, I think. I'm digging the style of list you have. Oh, thank you. So if anyone's interested, this is Notion. It's a pretty cool piece of software, actually. It's like a Google Docs meets, I don't know how to describe it. What do they call it? It's on Notion.so is the URL. The all-in-one workspace tool. Oh, this is literally my Notion. Whoops, that doesn't help me. I was hoping to go to the marketing site. It does fucking everything, though. So you can just make pages with shit. There's, like, tables and shit. So I have a knowledge base thing, which I use, which to, like, make notes on. So this is a database inside of Notion, and the posts are just, like, me writing pages of stuff. But I can tag them all. You can link to this database from other parts of your thing. If you go search, like, Notion on YouTube, there's a bunch of, like, productivity hackers and shit that use this and do absolutely insane things with it. My Notion setup is not that crazy. I mostly just use it for note-taking, but it's a very, very powerful piece of software. So, anyways. You can, like, make a post before you even publish it. Maybe tag people in your group and you can pull up a short recommendation list if a lot of people want to play the same game. It's like a non-shooting Microsoft OneNote. Yes. Yeah, it combines like OneNote, and then there's a product called Airtable that allows you to do like spreadsheet / databasey type things that it also kind of replaces. It does a lot of things, so it's very powerful, and I don't know how to use it that well, but it's there. What part of short recommendation list a lot of people want to play the same game? Okay, so I see what you're saying, Will. So you're essentially like looking for if you're... So if I'm understanding what you're saying correctly, what you're trying to basically say is that if you tag 4 people, it would say, okay, like, do you guys have like a shared game you all want that's like on your... do you have a game that's all on your like want to play lists? And they would pull it up. So the check-in flow is right now not at all configured for that because you have to pick a game first. Yeah, like most email of links managed to list. Yeah. I like that idea, but I don't know how you access that. I think that's really powerful though. I think that idea, and I want to write that down so I don't forget it. So I'm just gonna like throw it down here. Have a way to take X number of people and see if there's there's any common games on your want to playlist. I think this is a really compelling feature. I don't know how I'd implement it. This is cool as shit though. Because I know there are a lot of times where we go to the board game bar and we're like, what the hell? Because we try and play new games every time we go, or like pretty often. And so this would be super fucking cool to be like, I'm with these people. What do we all want to play? Love that. Absolutely love that. That's like very, very neat. But yeah, it may not be post, so I'm going to leave it there. We'll figure out how to implement it a little bit later, but I think that's good. Okay, so I think this is it for profiles, right? Like your basic, information. You could probably have a bio, I guess. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. You'll probably want to put some information about yourself. Games you've played, your feed. Yeah, I don't think your profile needs to be any crazy right now. Maybe reviews too. So your reviews are check-ins though, right? So they could scroll through your feed and view your check-ins, which like, so with the check-ins, and I have, here, hold on, give me a second. Actually, I have the mock-up here. All right, so the one on the right is what the mock-up actually looks like right now, but so each check-in is required to have a rating. So I believe, if I remember correctly, I think the caption's optional. The rating is required. You have to put a rating. So each check-in in itself is sort of a review. Now, hopefully, people are going to put like how they felt about things, but not everyone's going to do that, right? Sometimes they're just going to be like, I played this. So yeah, so okay, filter check-ins with a caption probably isn't a bad call. But yeah, everything's going to have a rating. So that helps. Now, there's the other side of this too, right, is that when you go to look for a game, so there's going to be a game search. We haven't gotten to that point yet. There's going to be a game search. When you search for a game, I am like nearly positive that I am planning on aggregating the scores for the game. So let's say you type in Wingspan, you go to the Wingspan page. It's going to aggregate the reviews across Tabletop for Wingspan and give you an average review. And then what it's going to do, again, I haven't mocked this up or anything, but my initial thought was basically, is that it shows the game, shows the info about the game, and then right below that is a feed of people's check-ins with the game. So if you're like, how do people feel about Wingspan? You can go to Wingspan's page and see every time anyone's checked it in, probably sort by most recent, excuse me, you'll be able to see what people playing Wingspan think about the game. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's also going to be, I think, probably the primary source of you getting information is if you're like, so Pieces, again, I've mentioned a few times on the stream, is the board game bar that's close to us. If you're at Pieces and you're like looking at their giant shelf of board games and you're like, this game sounds cool, ideally, and this is what I want personally, I would love to be able to type that into Tabletop and see what people think about it. And also it'll give me like what type of game it is and who made it, and then like reviews, basically. I just get to see people's check-ins, see how they liked it, see pictures. That sort of thing, right? That's the goal. That's the goal here. So yeah, okay. Anyways, I went off a little tangent there. Profiles, I think, are done. Let's talk about so like game profiles / views. So this is when you search for a game. This is when you search for a game and tap on it, basically. You'll get info about the game. So that will be genres, number of players, date released, probably expansions, etc., stuff like that. I don't know how that's going to be formatted, but like that sort of thing. and then also a feed of check-ins specific to that game. And also, going back to this too, because everything's public, this is going to be like a really easy database query, right? Because it's literally just like a, get all posts where game equals this game ID, which is kind of nice. So, how's it going, Drew Cooperson? Did I code before going to college? Yes, a little bit. Yeah, like nothing serious, but I messed around a little bit and stuff. And I did not like theory courses at all. I have more of a respect for them now. I feel like as I'm, yeah. Oh my God, Will and I actually did HTML, CSS back in the day. Holy shit, dude. In Notepad. Oh my God. Do you remember that, Will? We would like go over to your house, code in Notepad, or like code HTML in Notepad. Insane. That was the start. I was like 13 then, I think. So crazy. I was never good at TI basic programming, but and yeah, I didn't like theory classes. I find myself more interested in that stuff now. I like watch videos on like programming language design, and I think it's very interesting. But I still probably wouldn't want to do it full time, which is why I have like a job where I'm doing not theoretical things, and I don't really use a lot of that info. But I finished the semester, should get an A. Oh, awesome! That's fucking great, man. Hell yeah. I wasn't okay. I wouldn't say I was shocked. It's one of my main criticisms, I think, of college CS based programs. Looking back now, right? Like, I would say the majority of people who are in college to get computer science degrees are planning on going off into the world of software engineering, for the most part. Not everyone, obviously, right? But either software engineering or like something related. And the curriculum does not at all reflect that. And that was part of my feedback that I left my department as I was leaving. And I was like, hey, you should offer more software engineering classes or like more project-based classes, like, because there weren't enough, I don't think. And it's, again, like, probably like 80% of the people who were going to school for CS are planning on getting software engineering jobs afterwards. So it makes sense. I think it makes sense they teach it more, but like there are reasons they don't, I think. I don't know if they're good ones, but I don't know much about AI or machine learning, like, in real life. I took an AI class, but, like, I have no knowledge of the industry at all. I'm just a lowly web developer. Okay, so, was there anything else in game profile? I think this is all that matters, right? Info about the game. I guess I should make a separate point of aggregate reviews, like an aggregate score across all reviews, and then feed a check-in specific to the game. I think that's everything. I think that's all we need. Lists. Okay. Here, hold on one second. Actually, I'm going to close my windows. It's getting stormy, so I'm going to turn my lights on. So give me 1 second. Okay, hopefully I'm not like too dark. I think I'm fine though. It's just getting it's supposed to rain here tonight, so it's getting a little dark out. Oh, the feng shui. I know. I really do. This office looks so fucking good during the day, dude. Ugh. Man, I love this room. 16 Hound Hoodie. Thank you. It's a limited edition, baby. My throat is dying. I haven't talked this much in a while. Oh, God. And my throat is like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Why are you talking this much? Shut the hell up. Okay, so... where were we? Great. Let's talk about lists. All right? Is that everything? I haven't talked about the feed. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your feed. Your feed is presumably all check-ins from people you follow. Ooh, that's a spider. Hold on. I have a thick geometry book that I'm using to kill spiders right now. Where did he go? I just saw him like crawl across the top of my monitor. I don't love that. Alright, we're gonna keep an eye out for that. Oh, that's the cat opening the door. Sonny, goddammit. Every time, bud.
Was that Sunny?
Yep, every time. Go! Leave me! One of them's, absolutely one of them's gonna die tonight, but he will die to this analytic geometry textbook I have from like 1950. Right? It's kind of old. Second edition Analytic Geometry by John W. Seal. I've read like the first, yeah, copyright 1950, baby. Look at that shit. Old as hell. Got it from a thrift store. I've only read like the first 2 chapters. It's kind of confusing. I also have my other random like math related textbook that I've laying around. This one I've not checked out at all. Is a Games and Information Introduction to Game Theory. That's just a theory. A game theory. I guess game theory is like more like economics and stuff. This one's from 1989. I have a really bad habit of buying like old textbooks at thrift stores and then not reading them, so hopefully I read these, but I don't know, man. The analytic geometry is actually like fucking big brain. I don't know what's going on here. I thought it was gonna be some like lower level stuff, but it's like kind of confusing and I don't really know what's going on. But it's a cool little textbook, so anyways. I have these lying around. Right now they are spider killing machines. I'm just here for the door opening. My damn cat, dude. It's always game theory, but never gamer theory. I agree. I agree. Advanced mathematics is whack. Can't even spell it correctly. Hell yeah. Yo, like, I never had to take more than Calc 2, and that was fine. I'm cool with that. Linear algebra is also really rough, but like that's useful stuff, right? Especially for programming. If you do like game design and stuff, like you kind of need to know linear algebra. But anyways, that's off topic. All right, so feed. All check-ins from people you follow. That's pretty straightforward, I think. Just displays check-ins. So something worth having, and I'm stealing this idea shamelessly from. It's kind of in a different thing, but I don't know if anyone's used Mastodon before. Mastodon is a cool little. It's a decentralized social network. They call it like a microblogging network. It's basically like decentralized Twitter. So how Mastodon works is everyone runs their own servers, and then the servers all federate with each other. So you can still talk to people from other servers, but like everything is hosted locally on your server, basically. So what Mastodon has, though, and I don't know if I still have my Mastodon app on here. I apparently do not. Anyways, so Mastodon, you follow people, like a lot of social networks, and your normal feed is you following people, the people you follow, and you see their posts and all that. But you can also access your local timeline, which is a timeline of all posts on your server, and they also have a federated timeline, which is all posts in the servers that your server federates with. I'm not going to try and explain the decentralized part of it. It's kind of complicated, but it's cool. Anyways, the point is that the idea of seeing all posts, I think, might be kind of neat. I don't know if it's a good idea. Could be cool. Perhaps I just shouldn't worry about it. I'll put it under the maybe later. A global timeline / feed. Great. And great. Now listen here, people. All right. I've heard the feedback of the people. Okay. And you know what? You know what's gonna happen here? This is gonna be in chronological. I can't spell I spelled it right. Nice. Chronological order. No algorithm, baby. And that's not because I really care about that much. It's because I'm too lazy to make one. So it's just gonna be in chronological order because that's the easiest. But people will be happy about that, I'm sure. So cool. Great. Yeah, I think that's it. What's going on, Jaxie? See, look, you're already pleased. Chronological order, the best order. Less work for me. Happier you. Great, done. If posts start out public, you can have a feed for local games. Ooh. As in, like, people who are playing close to you? That's a good idea. Maybe later. Feed of games happening near you. I really like that idea, actually. The other thing, actually, is location profiles. Location / venue profiles. So, we still don't quite know how we're getting location data. Haven't figured that out yet. But when we have location data, viewing a venue / location would show info about it if it exists / if we do that. But it would also show a feed of check-ins at this location. So this makes a lot of sense, similar to games. If you're at a board game bar, you can view all the check-ins happening at the board game bar. Cool. Pretty neat, I think. And this is like pretty similar to how Instagram has it, right? Like you can tap on a location, Instagram, and it'll show all pictures at that location. I think this is pretty simple. And then later... So here's the other fun part about this, is that I'm not doing this for fun. In theory, I would like this somewhere down the line to make money. That's kind of the point of this. Also because it's going to cost money to run this, and I have to pay like $100 a year for an Apple dev certificate and all this shit. Anyways, later on, if we have a business side of things, version, you could imagine businesses being able to post news / specials / customize this page, basically. So let's say Pieces was paying for a Tabltop business account, and they could have it to where whenever someone goes to the Pieces profile, it could show, hey, you know, we're having this sort of happy hour this week. Or they could, like, instead of showing check-ins, could have a section for, like, these are the new games we have in stock this, like, you know, new games we're getting in this week, or whatever. So, but that's later. That's not now. Obviously, for me to be able to like tell a business, hey, pay me money to get more features on this, we're gonna have to have people using it. So that's, yeah, later on anyways. It can piss off your user base unless you introduce a stupid algorithm. Yeah, exactly. I can introduce it now. I'll introduce it later, and everyone will get mad, and they keep using it. Like I did with Twitter. And Facebook, back when I started a Facebook account, so. Okay, now I think we're legitimately down to lists. I'm really excited. Let's talk about lists. So, lists. Primary use case is keeping track of games you want to play. I think this is probably the most compelling one. So we should still make it free-form enough to... God, I'm dying. Free-form enough to do other things, but basically, let's say you have... you start... So everyone starts with one default list. You can't delete the either want to play or games queue something, whatever that is. The want to play games queue list. So everyone has this. Able to add other lists that can either be private / public and can be named whatever. You are able to add games to a list via... You're able to add games to a list. It's either gonna be via the game's page, or like if you see a post with a game, you can be like, "Hey, add this game to my wish list." Now, there's another interesting thing here too, is that this sort of enables a feature that could be spruced up easily. Which is the collection feature. So how this works basically is this would keep track of games you own. Now you can imagine if we want to do this, actually, we should probably just have a second list that says, these are games that I own, your collection as well. A second default list could be my collection. Now, the other thing here is that a collection, it sort of seems like something you might want to keep private, to be honest. Maybe you just don't want people to know. There are some like legitimate security concerns with that, right? Like, board games get really expensive, and if you have a lot of board games, then like, people's board game collections are kind of worth real money. So like, maybe that's not something you want to share with everyone, but you want to know for your own purposes. To keep track of things. Yeah, so let's just say both of these lists could be toggled private public. I don't know if I love this. Not 100% tied to this idea. Could make group recommendations really annoying. So, for example, if we're talking about this, for example, just this feature we talked about earlier, which common games, if someone's want to play list is private, then what are the permissions for viewing there? So. I can see lots of applications of intersecting users, different lists, like games we've both played already, games we want to try, something new, games we hate for ranting. Oh, yeah. I don't know how to integrate that, but yeah, I think I'll be honest with you, before we started today, I was not even thinking of this remotely as a core feature. And now that it got mentioned, I'm like, there's absolutely no way I'd ship it without this. This is incredible. Now, again, if we wanted to ship like a really early alpha version, we could go without lists if we wanted to. But I think this is great. I think having this as like a base core feature, by itself, it's powerful. But like you said, I agree with you, Jack, is that I think the things that it provides us, that it allows us to do later on the line, is pretty wild. I think it's pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff going on there. So I feel good about that. So I'm not 100% tied to the fact that you can toggle it private, public. Yeah. This is almost better than check-ins. Check-ins can fuel the list growth. Yeah, I mean, I think they work well together, right? Because it's very easy, because I think the idea is that, I think one of the good use cases for this is you want to get into check-in accounts, right? You want to get more into board games. You have a friend or someone. Again, I think if we get, this is like the success case for this app, right? Is that if we can get a few like board game celebrities, aka people who are like big in the board game community, onto this app, people are gonna follow them for recommendations. Abso-fucking-lutely. If there's someone you trust, right? Like I need to get better acquainted with who those people are, because I don't know who they are really. But if you're like, this is like the big name, and who's, I don't know, the people who all do like Critical Role also I think is probably a good category. That's like the really popular D&D show on Twitch. People you think are going to have good taste in board games, which is like kind of celebrity culture, you're going to want to follow the fuck out of those people, right? So you follow them, they play a game. If they give a game like a 4 or 5, you're like, absolutely. That game, I want to play that shit. I value the recommendation so much higher because that's how people work, right? And so for them to be able to be like, oh, this person checked into this game and they said it was sick, and it's like the type of game I'm really into. The ability to be able to be like, I'm going to add this to my list. Boom. Fuck yeah. That's it, baby. So I think they work well together. If you have people with business accounts, you could have the associated email receive a message, someone added your game to their most hated games list. And that's why I wouldn't support a most hated games list right off the bat, right? I feel pretty strongly about the fact that the only default lists we give you are something like want to play in my collection. And then you can add your own ones, but they won't have any like special features. Basically, the only ones that have special features are the ones we give you by default. I think some of this is functionality similar to what Steam tries to do with the curators thing. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of potential for that. Yeah, I think because board games are a thing where, and a lot of them are really expensive, right? I mean, like, a lot of these Kickstarter board games are like, I'm talking like $150, $200. Like, Gloomhaven's $120. I actually have, it's not my copy. I have a copy of Gloomhaven back there. That game is amazing, right? It's like the highest, I think the highest ranked game on Board Game Geek. But like, it's $120. And obviously you can go look at Gloomhaven reviews and stuff. But like, if someone you know, like, is like, hey, Gloomhaven's the shit, man. Like, suddenly you spending $120 on it is like maybe a little easier to stomach. So the power of recommendation is very strong, I think. And I think this app enables that a lot. Now, again, Board Game Geek, here's the other thing, right, is that Board Game Geek also does this, right? So they're in some ways kind of our competitor right now, although not really right now because I'm using their API. So they're not entirely our competitor, but like Board Game Geek does this. So you can like, view games and they have reviews and they have like forums and stuff. So like here's the list and they have like average ratings, the number of votes. They have like people who I think are like curators or something. And you can go on here and you can rate it and it like tells you how to buy it and all this. So they provide a lot of information, but the thing is that it's not, although it's social and there's like a forum and stuff, I think the distinction we make here is that ours is going to feel a lot more like a social media app, if that makes sense. And sometimes that has a negative connotation towards it, but like, I go to Board Game Geek for information. I don't necessarily go to Board Game Geek for recommendations from people I know. And I think that's where we really shine, is that this is going to be great for getting recommendations from either people you trust because of their status in the community or whatever, or people you're good friends with and you want to see what's going on there. Plus, some people I think are motivated by the social aspect, right? Like, that's also an important thing to keep in mind, is that not everyone is really into the whole social media and posting thing, but a lot of people are, and that fuels a lot of that. And like Board Game Geek, I don't think provides that. And again, they don't have to. This is not me shitting on Board Game Geek. It's an absolutely invaluable website that I use all the fucking time, but I just don't think that. I don't think they provide that like social stimulus exactly that does this. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to put here. So locations, later if you have the business version, also generating a list of games at this location. So in the case of business accounts, they can manually add lists here. They can manually add game inventory here. Otherwise, we could compile check-ins. So this has the potential to have false data in it, right? Because if you check into a location, the check-in doesn't actually have the game. That could be kind of dangerous. But like for board game bars and stuff, this is gonna be really nice. So like I think like Pieces, for example, I think has a list of games on their website. Pretty sure they do. Which, by the way, this is a shameless plug. I'm not in any way affiliated with them. I just fucking love this place. If you're ever in St. Louis and like board games, after all this whole coronavirus shit is over, obviously, please visit Pieces. They have really good food, really good drinks, and a good beer menu as well. And they have like a uber fuck ton of board games, and it's a great place. Highly recommend. I would not be, I think, as into board games as I am right now if it were not for them. But anyways, they have a, I'm pretty sure... Yeah, so here's the thing, right, is they have a giant Google sheet of all of their games. And while this is useful, right, because they can see all the games, they tell you players, I think this is difficulty, playtime, ages. The problem is, I've tried to use this on my phone before. It's not good. It's not good. But if I was able to go on Tabletop, say, hey, I'm at Pieces, and the filtering, baby, it's all about the filtering. If I was able to say... hey, I'm looking for cooperative games that Pieces has, and it could just show me that. Incredible. That's so valuable. And I'd be able to get reviews from that. I'd be able to get average playtime so easily. With here, what I do is I look for names and I type them in a Board Game Geek. And it's like a whole process. And again, this is awful to view on mobile, trust me. I've done it before, many a time. So I think like that use case... fucking Tabletop, if implemented correctly, shreds it. Absolutely just kills it. It's going to be so good. Could also track down someone or somewhere that has a game you want to demo. Yes. Yes. So I think that's a good thing to put too in terms of game profile views. We'll put a later category. And have it say locations near you with this game. And I think the locations, right, has like a lot of potential here also. So like creating slightly different profiles for stores. So stores sort of have a different feel. A lot of board game stores allow you to like play board games in the store and you can demo them and stuff. But like being able to see stock of them might be really useful from the app, that sort of thing. So yeah, that could be cool. Shechi, how's it going? So the app is like starting to be built. It's in React Native. So we're using TypeScript for that, and then the backend is a Apollo. It's basically our API server is going to be a GraphQL one. And that's also in TypeScript. So basically everything in TypeScript. But I'll probably have to do some sort of native code, I imagine, for React Native. So that'll be in either Swift or Java, probably. I'm doing well. Good to hear you're doing good. Yeah, my throat is dying a little bit because I'm talking a lot. But other than that, doing well. I can see revenue from venues. Yeah, so sort of, just to be very transparent, like I said, I would like this to make money at some point. I'm not necessarily rushing it to make money because there's a sort of, for it to make money, there have to be people on it sort of thing. The idea basically is that businesses being able to use it, having features for venues is probably a big part of it. I would consider doing something like a pro version where you can pay like a little bit each month to do something, but I haven't thought about that at all. And then also the other people I think that this benefits is like game publishers or game studios being able to like I don't know what it looks like, sponsored recommendations or like giveaways, which actually brings us to our last thing that I want to think about. Excuse me. Jeez. Game creators at large. Yeah, so yeah, not just feedback, but as well as like, I'm gonna be pretty straight up here. Basically advertising, you know. That's what sponsored posts are basically. The ability for so I'm not well versed enough in marketing to know if this is like a good sell, right? But like, if I'm just like, hey, why advertise on a platform where, like, if I'm giving you a platform that is almost exclusively people who care about board games, because this thing is only about board games, and you could either, you know, advertise on here or advertise on like Instagram, right? Like, I think that's a good sell, right? Where it's like, this is your niche and you can just advertise to the niche. And I am going to have to get up and take a 5-minute break here since I'm going to rest my voice a little bit. And yes, I am a programmer by day job. I do web development stuff mostly. So our app that I work on at work, I work for like a pretty small company. Our front end is all in React. And then our back end is PHP, which it's like slowly more is going into React and less is going into PHP. But yeah, so I've never done a mobile app before, so this is only going to be a mobile app, at least for right now. So this is a new experience for me in terms of I've never developed for mobile, but React Native is like in a lot of ways very similar to normal React, and I'm a React developer. Like that's what I do professionally. So yeah, what's going on, Jordan? We're not programming yet. We're just talking. Okay, so the last feature I want to talk about is basically some sort of gamification / reward feature. So what this is basically is something like, I don't know if you want to call them trophies or badges or whatever. But the point is here basically is that if you... by checking in things, you get incentives and you get like to show them off. Like, I don't know, I think gamification's like pretty easy to have and is good. So basically this would be like you've checked in to say like 5 different cooperative games. Here's the like plays well together trophy. So they're like kind of like achievements, right? Except for it's just like I don't know, you get them and like you could show them off on your profile or something. Like, I don't think this is a core thing, but I think a lot of people find a lot of value off of like gamification / rewards. And I think this is pretty easy, right? You could do it by game type, you could do it by like where the game is originated, right? So like if you do like you played like 5 American games, or also like location too. So you could have, let me write all these down. So like game type, so like types of rewards. So you could have game type, origin of game, as in like the country it was from, location played at. So if you like like 5 check-ins at a board game bar. This is assuming we can categorize locations by that, which based on our small amount of research into that doesn't look hopeful, but maybe. And the other thing here too is that as a later thing, again talking about monetization, companies being able to sponsor these things are, I think, cool. So let's say, also, I guess holidays is probably a thing. So, like, I don't know if there's, like, a, like National Board Game Week. Is that a thing? I don't know. Maybe it is. Something like that, if you've played during that. Or during other holidays. And then later, basically, having sponsored... limited time badges. So like let's say X game company sponsors a like weekend of games or something, and if you check in during that time you get a badge or trophy or whatever you want to call them, but it's somehow linked to a company. So let's say there was like a, like for example, it's like board game weekend by Catan or something like, I don't know. Like this seems like a good marketing opportunity. Yo, Jordan, thank you so much, dude. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Was April 11th literally board game day? Oh, fuck, did I miss this, man? Achievements are addicting, boost screen time for advertisers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like this is the thing I think, right? I think this would go over fairly well. I don't know if it will. I have a hunch, right? I think this is good. Take the Christ out of Christmas and make it Catan miss. Amazing. But yeah, so this was another thought I had that I think would go. I think gamification in general is that, again, people really like this. Personally, I don't know if it's like the biggest motivator for me, but I recognize that a lot of people are really motivated by this. They like this a lot. I think it's relatively easy to add. People like showing off stuff too, right? So like size of collection is a good one, but if you're like, I have this badge for like playing like, you know, this many check-ins of like, I'm a cooperative board game master or some shit. So anyways, this is not at all, I don't think this is a required feature at launch, but like this could be pretty cool. So with that, I think I have everything in terms of like, I think this is all the base features. So let's go over everything again. So the check-in flow, obviously say make posts, descriptions, captions, you tag friends, and not immediately needed, but soon we'll have, oh, I didn't want to do that. Photos, location tagging, result tagging who won. Oh, and I need to make a later list for after the MVP. This, also leaderboards. So leaderboards I'm actually pretty excited about too, but I don't think this should be a part of the initial thing. So once we get it to where you can mark who won a game, leaderboards are really neat because, so my thought is here is that you can make leaderboards between your friends. So say you have a group of, let's say like 10 or 12 friends who play board games together fairly often, and you set up a leaderboard to see like who's won either across all games or across like a specific game. So if you're like, you know, like if you have a gaming group that regularly plays a game, like being able to be like, all right, who wins this game the most? Like who's the master of our group? Having a way to formalize that in a leaderboard format would be really fun. That's like also gamification kind of. Also, an idea with this too is that later, like with business accounts, you could imagine a business setting up a like a month-long competition for like most Catan victories, and there are like things we'd have to figure out about this, like, right, because like you could game this, but at the location, and then there could be like a reward in there or something. So like that's like another way of incentivizing things that it's like a cool business feature. So yeah, so the tournament aspects, I don't know how big board game tournaments are, but I think the leaderboards, I think, could start that. There are some ways we can make that happen. I don't know for sure. We're not going to worry about it now, but anyways, back to overview. I just remembered about that. So posts are created via the check-in flow we just talked about above. They're all going to be public. You just have to have an account. We might get private accounts later, but that's going to be the default behavior. Displays info from the check-in. Post interaction probably needs some sort of like or something like that, or comments, or maybe both. Unsure of what we're going to do before the app launches. And then other stuff, we need to be able to report posts for like spam or hate speech. And they're not immediately needed. I don't have anything else, I don't think. Oh, sorry. One thing I guess to put here is basically be able to add game to list from the post. So feed, it's all check-ins people you know. It just displays the check-ins, doesn't have to do anything else. It's going to be in chronological order because that's the easiest. Maybe later having a global timeline to where it's not just the people you follow. It's from everyone in the app, and or a feed to games happening near you, which would be cool. For profiles, it's going to have your avatar picture, username, bio. if we add badges, you could just like show off badges. So I know Steam does this actually, where you can like you have like a trophy case of your achievements, and you can show off achievements you're proud of. So you could do that. The games you've played, your lists. Want to play collection, something like that. And your feed of check-ins, so all the check-ins you have, and may or not want to include the check-ins you've been tagged in. Location venue profiles. We don't know how we're going to get location data, so this is kind of up in the air, but you can show info about it, and then also the check-ins that are at that location. And then later, that's where a lot of the business stuff comes in. And then generating a list of games at this location. And then if you search for games and you click on a game, you get info about the game in terms of genres, number of players. Playtime is a big one, actually, that I need to be like... That's probably one of the more important things, actually, I think. Aggregate score across all the reviews on the app so people can get a general idea of how people feel about it. And then feed a check-in specific to that game, so how people like it. You could also see having a... we'll put this as like a later... like a photo feed of the game, so just grabbing photos from posts instead of the instead of like just seeing people's check-ins. You just want to see the pictures from it, because some people are really visual in that way, right? If they just want to see if the game looks cool, so being able to like scroll through the photos would be nice. I believe like this is I have Google Maps installed even still. So I'm pretty sure Google Maps does this. If you like click on a... Sorry, I'm not interested in this. Yeah, so Google has this. So Google sort of aggregates photos that people have posted on reviews, and you can just view the photos as a feed. So something like that, basically. So a photo feed of the game just based on photos and posts. Photos can prove the games are actually played and not bot generated. I'd be skeptical if there's no photos. Yeah, so that's a hard balance to cross, right? Because I think some people just aren't into the whole photos thing, and they just want to say, okay, I played it. Like, some people don't care about the extra shit, but yeah. That could be, in terms of, like, tournaments and stuff, there could be some verification measures there, so that's something to think about. And then for lists, primary use case is keeping track of games you want to play. So everyone starts out with the one default list, but it's probably going to be two. So like a want to play, and then you probably have a my collection as well. So I'm not 100% tied to this idea, but in theory you could tag them as private or public. Although, like I said here, group recommendations are going to be really annoying if like people don't have private or don't have public lists. So at the very least, you might make want to play public, and like maybe you can toggle my collection. I don't know. Able to add other lists that can either be private or public and can be named whatever. Because, like, I think the private lists are probably fine. And maybe we just don't make them private. Maybe that's harder. But you can make new lists and people can view those. You add games to lists either by searching them or seeing them on posts, as I mentioned up there. And then the collections, you can keep track of games you own, which is cool. And then some sort of gamification / reward feature. So trophies, badges, whatever we're going to call them. And then there's like different categories and that's probably different levels. So probably we identify like what should we give trophies, badges, whatever we're calling them. What should we give them for? And then basically have levels. So like as you do more, you get better ones, whatever. Maybe they give you XP and you get a level, like how Steam does it. I don't know. I'm not tied to that, but whatever. And then game type, yeah, all that sort of stuff. And then you can do sponsored limited badges. Just limited badges in general are kind of a cool idea. And then some later things, basically doing common game recommendations would be really cool. Oh, I guess another thing on profiles, basically, number of... Oh god, that's not what I wanted. Let's talk about that sign. Number of followers, people they're following. Like, that's like a pretty standard social media thing, but... and then also later leaderboards, which I like have a little bit of an idea of, but yeah. Cool. So I think that's like a really good MVP outline. It took us about 2 hours to get through that. Thank you everyone who's like contributed ideas and stuff. I feel pretty good about this. There's a lot of good stuff there. So next what we're going to do is go ahead and try and make Trello cards for all these and try and figure out what we need to do first in order to get things done. Before that happens though, I'm going to go take like a 5-minute break. I need to go to the bathroom, get some more water, and give my voice a second to like chill out because my throat is dying right now. Yeah, so I'll be back in just a second. As always, so before I leave, if you are enjoying the stream and aren't already, please consider following. You'll get notifications whenever we go live on Twitch. It's a useful metric that makes me feel better about myself, however you want to figure that out. And I also have a Twitter that you can follow too. I don't think I have a Twitter command. I should probably do that. Do I have a Twitter command? Fuck yeah, I don't. I'll make that in a second. Actually, I'm going to write that down, otherwise I'll forget. Because I say that every stream that I'm going to make one, and it will truly take me 2 seconds, but... Make ! Twitter command for Nightbot. Anyways, I have a Twitter. It's at RenoInMO. You can follow me on there as well. It doesn't work. Whatever. All that said, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Thanks everyone for sticking around. I'll see you in a second. Alrighty, gamers, we've returned. I apologize, I mean it was longer than 5 minutes, but it's fine. It's fine, it's fine. Okay, so we're back. Now it's time to make Trello cards, baby. The GM emote works surprisingly well with sunglasses. Let's go. Cool. So, great. Now that we have a general MVP outline, now it's time to make cards. So, we're going to restructure some things. We're going to add another list for a temp list to basically organize things because, yeah, I need to organize them. This is mostly done. That's on hold. And you get a PO box. Anyways, so base check. So let's just start writing things. So base check-in flow. This is caption, rating, friend tagging, or I'm not gonna say friend tagging, tagging other users. Great. Then additional check-in features. This is photos, location tagging. Actually, I should make those separate. I should make those separate cards, right? So, adding photos to check-ins. Adding location to check. Well, actually, so this one I think is going to be, I'm going to do this as a bigger thing. So like locations. So this is a bigger thing of basically how to generate or generating / submitting locations, adding to check-in, making searchable. So that's a separate thing. And perhaps photos should also be its own thing. So like photos features are, so adding photos is basically adding to check in, displaying in feeds also, because like there might be some network issues with that of like loading a bunch of photos. Your stream quality went full potato. Did I drop frames? Okay, I was like, I don't think I'm dropping frames, so that might be on your end. Unless Twitch is shitting the bed or something, which I don't control, so. Cool. Great, so photos location. So what else do we have here? Oh, result tagging as well. Results. Determining edge cases, i.e. where a single player doesn't win / multiple players win. The problem is, right, is that results are inherently linked to people. I think, at least. Maybe they're not, right? So maybe that's something to think about. Determine, I guess, figure out whether they should be linked directly to users. But this isn't like an immediate feature, so I can wait. Post interaction. So, or let's do feed first. I guess that probably goes before that. So your feed. Display check-ins from people you follow. I'm gonna have to design this also. I'm gonna have to design all these though, so like this is kind of I shouldn't put that. So display check-ins from people you follow. I don't think there's a lot else there. And then after that, putting post interaction. So this is comments, some sort of like button. I guess this is when I should probably be able to. Oh no! Sorry. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, click button accidentally. Okay, so your feed, post interactions, comments, some sort of like button. What else did I put there? Being able to add game to list from the post. That probably won't go on the same card. So other stuff, reporting posts. Post, basically just a report system in general. So that needs to be able to report profiles / posts, go to some sort of web interface for me to handle, probably outline. I'm gonna have to think of outline like punishment and stuff. That is stuff that I don't want to think about right now, but is necessary. Reporting system. Okay, so what's there? Feed check-in stuff is done, I think. Am I putting maybe layer stuff on there? This is not important right now, I don't think. I don't think we need this for MVP at all. All right, profiles. User profiles. So I'll just say base user profile is like the MVP of it. So base user profile needs to have, so this is just the display of the profile. Info, feed of their check-ins, which is easy enough. Info about personal games played, etc. Edit. I guess this is probably generally like a settings thing. There are going to be settings we need. So one, editing your profile is probably settings that we care about. Probably notifications. I haven't thought about that really. Settings at some point. I guess actually I should split this a little bit. So like edit profile is probably its own thing. That's more important. We need that. So like ability to change the following. God, I can't type. Jesus. So avatar / profile pic. I don't know if there's a lot of other things you want to change there. Probably keep that pretty simple. Other settings. So like this is probably actually I don't even put this here. Well, the settings can grow as it needs to. I shouldn't have to worry about that right now. I guess for base user profile, feed of their check-ins include tagged check-ins. We'll just display them differently. That'll be a design consideration we'll think about. Okay, what else? I already did a location thing. Right. Let's make sure I have everything there. Generating, submitting locations, adding to check-in, making searchable. Location pages, which include feed of check-ins, info, if available. Game profile / game searching. Game searching and pages. So search for games, page / profile for games. So that would display info about the game. We're talking about number of players, play time, genres. I don't know how we're doing that exactly. As well as a feed of check-ins for that game as well. This also has aggregate score or aggregate rating, I guess. Aggregate rating based on check-ins for that game. I think that's everything there. Then photo feed and check-in, aggregate score across all reviews, info about the game. Yep. Okay, and then lists. So lists are create a non-editable want to play and collection lists. Allow creation of new public, maybe private lists. Can add games to this list, so allow games to be added to list from posts and when searching the games. So this depends on the game search then, I would assume. And game search is essential anyways, but and then some sort of gamification / trophies. I'll just say that trophies is a temp title for that. Not sure what to call it. There's probably something more board gamey like that we could think of that might be kind of clever to call it, but I haven't thought about that. So gamification this basically has types of rewards, then level of them. So for example, there we say co-op games checked in 5x, 20x, 100x, etc. Just need to generate a good number of types of badges, and that should be fine. And then as well as part of this have a actually, so we could add the basic gamification. This is fine. And then as part of that, add a like something like a trophy case to user profiles. So allow users to showcase different gamification rewards that they've earned. You could also put perhaps think of a level /exp system. I'm not like tied to that idea. I don't really think we need to have like an EXP level system, but I don't know. It could be fun. Maybe people are into that. I don't really know if that's the case, but. Okay, trophy case. I think that's it. I think that's everything. So I think this is a pretty good amount of cards. This is basically all of the features I want. So now there's other things that need to be taken care of that are more like on the technical side of things. So I have some of these already. So implementing tests, I should probably split this card into two things. So learn implement tests for React Native / the app. And then also learn implement tests for the backend server. So I don't do a lot of like unit testing or integration testing or any of that at work, and we're working on it, but it's like a slow process for a small dev team. So it's something I really want to have in this project because I think it's important, but I don't do it very often, right? So I'm gonna have to spend some time learning how to do the testing. And to be honest, I'm going to want to do that, I think, sooner rather than later, because if I learn that now, and then it's very easy for me to be able to, as I start cranking out features, just adding tests as I make the features. That's something, this is a really simple thing. I just need to set up like a linter rules for the project and stuff. Yeah, just for my own sanity. It's like pretty low priority, but I don't think it would take me that long. Probably take me like 30 minutes, so. Initial blog post is like sort of a marketing thing. I'm not doing any videos or blog posts on progress, but I should be. Minor fixes with the autocomplete, which I need to do. Animations, yeah. Oh, what did I look this up for? Oh yeah, this starts the Android simulator. That's kind of nice. Consider using a UI library, set up the database, which I haven't done yet, handle searching dynamically. That can sort of be later. So I think these are probably like, I need to do these. These are like DevOps-y things. So other things I need to do, that I know I'm gonna need to do, is basically figure out go through Apple developer program so I can. So this is, I don't know the specifics of this, but this is basically, I think I need to do this to get the app on an iPhone or on an iOS device. But we'll for sure need to publish to the store. So I think this just costs, pretty sure this costs $99 a year. Maybe I do that sooner rather than later. I'll actually put that up top because that's sort of like not a feature, but there's also an equivalent thing for Android, I'm pretty sure. I believe I also have to pay, I think I have to pay something to publish an app on the App Store. App on the Play Store. In theory, for the early stages, like for like beta testing and stuff, I could just distribute an APK. But I don't love this idea, and I think this is like from what I understand, last time I looked at this, I think this was only like $25. So I think it's pretty cheap. So like, I'm already paying for the Apple one, which I will be because like I use an iPhone, so like I'll probably be doing. If there becomes a situation where I have to release it on one platform before the other, I probably will be releasing on iOS first. Sorry, Android users. Hopefully, I'll just release them both at the same time, but you never know. So basically, I'll be paying the $100 for the Apple thing, and I think the Android one's cheaper. So I think it's a lot easier to direct people to the Play Store. So who knows? What's going on TGL for Aaron? I'm using React Native. So in theory, everything I do will transfer to both platforms. However, from what I understand, there are some hiccups there. I have not run into those hiccups yet because I haven't tried to deploy to physical devices yet, so I don't know. I'm just saying if there comes a situation where it's like very obvious that I will only be able to get one platform done completely, then I'll favor that. As far as Flutter goes, the reason I'm using React Native over Flutter is just because I know I do React already for work, and so I figured it would be an easier transition for me to just go ahead and do that. Yeah. Just because I already have React experience, so I didn't really consider Flutter. I just was like, React Native is fine. But yeah. I'm hoping I don't have to make a sacrifice and only release it on one platform. I'm hoping I can do both Android and iOS, one fell swoop, but who knows? No. But probably don't want to do that. Like, I'm thankful that I don't think my app is complicated enough to where I'm going to have to write a lot of native code, because if I did, like, that would be a big slowdown, because then I either have to, like, learn Swift and or learn Java and or learn Kotlin. So, like, learning new languages takes a while, and yeah, so it'd be a big pain. So hopefully I'm going to try and just release to both platforms at the same time. That'd be ideal, but, you know, there's always a chance that it may not happen immediately, so. We'll go up this, put this up here too. What other backend steps we need to do? We need to figure out backend infrastructure. So infrastructure. I don't think I spelled that right. Infrastructure. There you go. Okay, so basically this is figuring out what platform I'm going to host the API on and getting some things working for that. Host the API and database on. So getting things started with that, we need backups of the database. That's important. Some space here. Automation for deploying. I would love to be in a situation where I can very easily have a deploy and just I don't want to have to like manually do a lot of that shit. From my understanding, I think this is pretty easy when you're starting fresh and you're just gonna have like a small little API thing, and then just be aware of. But I don't even need to worry about scaling stuff right now. If things don't scale well, I'll have to fix it. But I have no users. That's only a problem if I have users. Perhaps that is horribly shooting myself in the foot right now, but that's fine. Automation for deploying, any security issues that might come up. Basically, I should do my research when doing all of this, and then figure out any more requirements I have at that point. So I think that's fine. That's just something I need to do at some point. That can probably wait the longest because the only time I need an actual API server that works is like right before we launch. So I'll have to figure that out before we launch, obviously. But I can develop most of the app without that because I can just run a server locally and or like bullshit on a Heroku Dinu or something. Oh, excuse me. All right, is that it? And then set up the database. I have that already. That's important. I can also bullshit this for a while. Some of these features are going to rely on the database, so like we're going to need to do that. But oh, and then probably some sort of web/admin interface. So at the very least. I'll need this for reporting and handling that. This might be useful for other stuff, but I should just have a simple way to get this to be a thing. So like this probably is going to be like me hosting a simple website that's just like data behind credentials or something like that. I don't know exactly, but oh my god, I almost forgot. Holy shit, login. Login / registration. That is important. So yeah, login. So account sign up. Let me write a note for that out, actually, because there are a few things I want to think of here. So, account flow. So for sign up, things you're gonna need. You're gonna need an email, a username, and a password. You're going to log in, presumably with your log in with username plus password. Maybe you'll log in with email, password. We can just do username or email. I should probably limit it to one. I guess it doesn't really matter. But we are going to require an email. I should probably do some sort of email verification. Later, we can consider doing social media sign-in, but I don't really want to do this, I'll be honest. I would rather just not deal with it. So, I think it's probably just going to be you're going to sign up with my account, and sorry you can't sign in with Google. Whatever. I don't want to deal with it, I'll be honest, but maybe I do it. I don't know. We'll just put a bunch of question marks next to it. Login, username and password. Sure. Other stuff, we're gonna need a reset password feature of some kind. Probably. I don't know how that works. We're probably gonna need that. I was like, can I do that manually? I don't know. I probably should automate that. I think that's it. Yeah, you get one if you fuck it up. Sorry. That'd be insane, dude. This app's hard mode. Yeah, I don't know. That seems fine. Oh yeah, I think that's all we need for the account flow. And like, it's gonna be pretty easy to use. You have to sign in to use the app, so sorry. There's no like weird flows if you're not signed in or anything. It's just like literally you can't access the app if you're not signed in. So account sign up with email, username, pass, login, username plus password, password reset. Oh, and then email verification. I think I want email verification, but I don't know. Maybe, like, I guess there's a question of, like, is email verification required for you to use the app? I don't know. I don't know if that's the right case. I should think about what that entails. Because email is going to be the only reliable way for you to reset your password. Anyways. There's some security things to think about there, too. Oh yeah, I'll need to set up a like support email question mark. I don't know for sure if this needs to be separate from my normal email, but I could just have something like support at Tabltop.app. Which I own now, by the way. Tabltop.app, kind of cool. And maybe we need that. I don't know. Okay, I think this is everything. This is like a pretty, it's a pretty comprehensive list, y'all. I think we've done it. This is pretty crazy. So let's go ahead and organize things in order of priority, probably. Supported Tom Clancy's The Division. ClickUp is a to-do app you can import into it too. ClickUp? I've never heard of this. I don't know if I need another to-do app though. I don't use the one I have now. One app to replace them all. That's a bold claim, friend. My internet bad, or is their website just taking 10 years to load? Please. Yo, what is going on, y'all? Please. Is my internet just dying? What's going on here? Jesus. task, docs, chat, goal. Holy shit. Oh, is this like Basecamp or something? To-do list, product man. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Docs and notes, spreadsheets. Oh, this is like more powerful Notion with like conversations. Ooh, it tells you what it replaces too. This might be more useful if it was just more than just me. That's the problem here, is that it's just me. So I don't really need team management, right? Because like, oh, it has time tracking in it too? Dang, that's kind of cool. And screenshot, wow. That's a lot of shit. Hey, we use Loom at work. Huh. That's really neat, actually. I've never really used a Gantt chart before. Again, a lot of this feels like it'd be more useful if there were more people on a team. But this definitely looks like a really cool piece of software, don't get me wrong. Yeah, because I signed up for a free Basecamp account because I was like wondering what was going on there. And then Basecamp is clearly not meant for people who are it's just them. How much is this? Also, out of curiosity. Yo, what's going on, Tegan? Free forever, 100 megabit storage, unlimited task, unlimited users, custom automations. I hate this. God, this is my least favorite trend in SaaS, by the way. Fuck your annual discounts. I know it's free money for you. I hate it so much. I hate paying annually. Oh, Jesus Christ. Give me monthly payments for everything. But I again, the appeal behind it because people eat this shit up. Companies eat this shit up. Whatever. Anyways, that's not important. $9 per user per month. That's it. What's business? Oh, 2FA and SSO. Huh. Enterprise SSO. Yep. Okay. Cool. Well, that's yeah. Thank you for the recommendation, Aaron. I appreciate it. But yeah, I think Trello is fine for what I'm using it for, and like I'm not paying anything for Trello. And again, like something like that, I think would be really nice. But I think it would be overkill for what I need. Because, like, this looks hectic, but, like, I mean, you know, I work on this, like, once a week. It's a side project, right? So. But I'm going to actually save that in my links thing because I want to look at that later. I'll put it in my Notion thing, which I think it kind of replaces Notion, so whoops. Okay. So, this seems like a lot. Let's organize things. So, I think, to be honest with you, I think doing these three things first probably makes actually a lot of sense. At the very least, doing the React Native stuff. The backend server, I guess, could wait a little bit, but these, I think, are really important to do. I don't know if I should do these now. Maybe I should. So, base check-in is first. I agree with that. After that, I think I want to do your feed. After that, I want to do base user profile. And with that, I think I kind of have to do edit profile afterwards. Game searching I want to do pretty soon. Lists are definitely going to be up there. Probably do report system around that time. Probably after lists, I guess. I want to do post interactions before I do gamification. Probably do gamification here. First do login. I actually can put off login a surprisingly long time. Right? Because, like, you could just, like, pretend like you're logged in at first, and I'll just handle that later. Like, it's going to be annoying, but it's going to be fairly straightforward. The rest of this requires a lot more. Login also I could do, like, if I'm, like, really, like, hating designing things and thinking about that, login's a very easy task that I can sort of do whenever, and it's very, like, I don't have to think about design that much. It's a lot of just, like, a fucking, here's a sign-up form, you know? So, I'm going to leave it down there because I'll just do it last. I don't really care. Should some sort of database storing and calling function be put in there early before you get to the full schema deal? So right now, what I have, actually, I don't have my editor open. What a good coder I am. So right now, basically what everything looks like is that I am hard coding everything in here right now. So like here are my test games. So these are just sample data. Then I have like a test user. I think I can get away with this for like a pretty long time. Maybe that's bad. Here's the thing, right? Is that like for submitting check-ins, maybe I should have a database. I don't know, but you could also, like, I could just have no check-ins and have an object that check-ins are stored in, and it just, like, adds to the object right now. Like, I can bullshit out data pretty hardcore right now if I just don't want to worry about databases. And the only reason I think that might be good is because I think it's going to be a lot easier for me to sit down and make a database schema once I've worked through a lot of the app and have like figured out things that aren't going to work. So like as I'm working through adding features, there may be a lot of things that I realize aren't going to work the way I think they do. And so if I get like most of the app done and like functional with like bullshit data, then it'll be very easy for me to be like, okay, it's basically done. Now I can make the database and formalize everything. That's my general thoughts, at least. As I was doing the database stuff this past week, I was like, do I really need to be doing this now? I just thought about it, right? Because I was like, yeah, I'm like gonna make a good schema, but like I don't have a fucking app, so like what's the point, you know? It just feels like it's one of those things that like you think it's important, and it is important, but I think I thought it was important earlier than it's actually going to be, if that makes sense. So. But there are some things that I think are going to be harder without a database to implement. So like images, for example, might be kind of tough. I'm not sure. So. Start using sequelizes before all I do is make the database first. I had no migrations. What is this? Oh, I think I've heard of this before, actually. V5 documentation. I'm using Postgres, so this does that. .init sequelize. I've actually never used an ORM before. I don't think. Sequelize for December, sure. Quick example. So it makes models, and then you sync the models with your database. So I assume you just tell your database what the models represent, and then it translates that to the database. Oh, that's pretty nice. Oh, that looks real nice, actually. All right, let me make a note of that, actually. That seems great. I open it on my desktop, so I need to I need to open it on my Mac. What's ORM? Let me put that in a Trello card here. Libraries to use. Thank you for the recommendation, Aaron. That'll I won't be looking into that until later, but hopefully that seems really promising. So thank you, I appreciate it. What else did I have here? So login registration needs to happen before photos. So photos, location, and results, I think, are like, location's going to be the hardest thing, I think, to do properly. The database I can set up locally. I need to figure out the web admin interface. Whatever. Trophy cases below all of this. Location's also probably below all of this. I don't know if photos is before that. This is kind of rough. We can move it around if needed. Okay, that seems fine. You know what? We're actually gonna look into these things, I think, real quick. So I'm gonna archive this for now, and we're gonna go ahead and look through our cards. Cool. So let's go check out. So by the way, sorry, I should mention this as well. So this Trello board I am working on is public. So if you type in !mark Trello, it'll get you to this board that says you can view everything here. I'm trying to, be transparent about how things are going. The GitHub repo, I believe, is also public. Is that true? Oh God, security vulnerabilities, no. Oh, yikes. Automated security upgrades. Yeah, can you do these automatically? All right, well, I need to fix those, so whoops. Anyways, besides that, this is also public. So if you go to github.com/renewedboss/tabletop, I will post that in the chat for the people. There's that. The repo is there if you're interested in following along. That has the code for the React Native app and the server, which is in TypeScript and using GraphQL. So cool. You can start. I guess starring things on GitHub is neat. I don't know. Do that if you want to. Whatever. All right. Let's check out the Apple Developer Program. Because I need to know what all I can. I don't know what this gets me. That's not really what I wanted. Do I have an Apple developer account? Deadline for app updates has been extended. Let's turn off Dark Reader. Apple platforms. I don't care about most of this. I just want to be able to. How do I distribute? Build and distribute business apps for iOS. Let's learn about membership. Okay, so it's the Apple Developer Program. We get latest betas. I don't really care about that. So again, the beautiful thing about this is that my app in the grand scheme of things is like pretty simple because so I don't have to worry about a lot of these like SDKs changing or anything like that, which is nice. Invite users to test your iOS apps before you release them on the store. I really want to do this. You can invite up to 10,000 testers just using their email address or by sharing a public link. This is sick. This is great. Are you fucking kidding me? Amazing. I'm almost certainly going to use TestFlight. You can also have internal testers. That's really nice. You can access your beta builds. You need beta builds in App Store Connect. I don't know how that works. Getting feedback. They can take screenshots and provide... Oh. That's so sick, man. That's so cool. App analytics. Great. I don't really care about that right now. What's included? Beta OS releases. Create App Store product pages. Test apps. TestFlight. So, like, how do I get things onto my phone? Can I do that without... Oh, they give you symbols, too? Ooh. That's nice. Like, is there any way for me to get it on my phone? I should look that up, actually. I don't think there is. Get started. You're looking for environment setup sections, they move to their own section. Oh, interesting. Okay. Guides, iOS. Running on simulators, pressing a device. Yeah, how do I run it on an actual phone? Like, is there a good way to do that? We're gonna take a slight detour and figure out how the hell to do that. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and open a terminal. I think this is the... Great, so... if we look at the package.json file, scripts iOS, so it's using the React Native CLI. Ooh, that's not good. Run Android, run iOS, built it on iOS simulator. Upgrade your app's template files. And if you're Android, you have to USBW knowledge of the phone and updates in real time. Yeah, so the problem is I think we have a spare Android phone laying around, but I don't know where it is. So I'm not sure. I can't test it on a physical Android device yet. I'll have to look for it. I think it's just like both me and my partner, we both have iPhones, so... but I think one of our old Androids is somewhere, but... So Tabltop does build as an iOS app. I don't know how that works. Like... This is all simulator. No device is connected to my Mac. Here, give me 1 second. All right, lightning cable acquired. I want to see if we can get this connected. See if this works. This USB port is working. This cable definitely works because that's what I charge with. This is a new device. Choose to set up for development. Yeah, use the account I have. Tap trust, sure. Oh, does this just work? Don't I have to pay money for this? I thought I did. If I can just put this on my phone, that's super sick. I'm really excited about that. Because I'm going to try and delay paying the 100... I probably should try delaying paying the $100 to join the program until I, like, really have to. Xcode will continue once my iPhone is finished. Great. My phone's serial number, big deal. I don't know. Preparing debugger support. Oh man, I'm so excited. Is this real? What is it doing? Is it updating? It's doing all of my App Store updates right now. Amazing. Okay, so while that's running, let's look at the Android developer program. Oh, my Wi-Fi in this thing is ungodly slow for some reason. Alrighty. Yeah, how do I distribute on Google Play? How does that work? Get discovered, pre-registration campaign for your next launch. That's kind of cool. Early access, you can run an open test. So they have something that's similar to Test Flight. Great. How people can pay. I don't have to worry about that for now. Google Play features. Yeah, how do I do this? Reach new audiences. Get support. Why is there no button for like sign up for this? Launch Play Console? Great. That's my Google account. $25 registration fee. Okay. So let me make a note of that. Looks like I have to pay 25 buckaroos before I can publish to the Play Store. They also offer Beta testing similar to test flight. Nice. After quick tip, nice app for converting JSON output to interfaces. What does this do? Oh, interesting. It turns into languages? Huh. Oh, it's literally the quickest way to get JSON read in your language? Huh. That's really neat. That is pretty cool. Go through Apple Developer Program. This costs... Well, wait, do we actually get the cost for it? I don't really want to log in. Can I just see how much it costs first? Distribute. Go to App Store Connect. Your app's on the App Store. Great. Let me... I don't think I'm gonna have anything that like requires me to hide my screen, but just in case. Oh my god. It was like, oh, your iCloud device is being logged into a new location, use this two-factor code, but like, it was telling me the two-factor code on my Mac that I'm logging on. Thank you. Thank you, iCloud. App Store. Enroll. Enrolling as an individual. Start your enrollment. Does this just tell me? Continue enrollment on the web. How much does it cost? I'm just gonna Google it. Apple Developer Program cost. Choosing a membership? Oh, Jesus Christ. I am an individual / sole proprietor. I don't think there's anything personal here, so. Yep, App Store listed under the developer's personal name. That's me, baby. I don't want to do that. $99 for membership mirror. Great. Oh, you do get on-device testing. Oh, why did I think that was paid? That used to be a thing, right? Okay, well, this costs $99 and gets me the ability to do test flight releases, publish on App Store, etc. On-device testing is not part of this. I already have it available. This song was making like a weird noise that sounded like it was not in the song. Anyways, okay, so cool. I don't need to do that anymore. So these can get bumped down like significantly then. Like these are literally at the bottom before I do stuff. It looks like I don't really need them for a long time, so fuck yeah. Here, let me see if I can get it on my phone. Is it ready? Is it already on my phone? Build failed! No, please! Signing for Tabltop requires the development team, so the development team and the signing and capabilities editor. Okay, where's that? How do I don't know how Xcode works. Okay. What? Where is that? Okay, select the development team in the signing capabilities editor. Where the hell is that? Symbol navigator, issue navigator, test navigator. What did it say? The signing and capabilities editor. window. Yeah, where the fuck? What? Are you kidding me, dude? Why is this so difficult? Okay, I guess I have a certificate now? Question mark? Please select a development team. What does that mean? Tabletop products. Tabletop.app. Target membership. What the fuck, man? Why is this so difficult? Okay, I don't know why this is so dumb, but I'm gonna go to the bathroom again real quick and then come back and figure out what's going on here, because I don't really know what's going on. So thanks everyone for sticking around. I'll be back in just a minute.
Slow a little down is what you said. I'ma get it over in my head. White t-shirt, blue jeans. I can never get enough of you. Bright sneakers on, getting ready for a flashback. Time keeps moving on, looking at you, feeling like I could never get enough of you. And I could never get enough of you. I could never get enough of you. And I could never get enough of you. Sneakers on, getting ready for a flashback. Time keeps moving on, looking at you, feeling like I could never get enough of you. And I could never get enough of you. I could never get enough of you. And I could never get enough of you.
All right, friends, we are back. Okay, trying to figure out how the hell to do this. So I don't know what I'm doing here. Edit scheme. I don't know what a scheme is. Arguments, options. Just want to run it. Automatically debug, sure. Options, allocation simulation, application data. I don't have any. Okay. Let's just Google it. Where are we? So Xcode, what's it called? Signing and capabilities editor. I'm glad everyone else also doesn't know where this is. Presumably. Code signing is required for product type, whatever. Okay, preferences account, add Apple ID. Enable signing automatically and select team. Bundle identifier. Code signing to iOS developer. Okay, so this does require my iCloud account, so give me just a second. Ooh, I forgot I had this cool ass scene that I need to like actually update. Okay. Give a second. So add your Apple ID, Xcode, preferences, accounts. I have my Apple ID. How do I change teams? That I don't know. I don't really want to do that. Okay, I just need to change that. Great. Enable signing to automatically and select team which you've created before. Where is signing? Okay, enable signing to automatically and select team that you've created before. Yeah, where do I do this though? Where is signing? Oh, signing and capabilities. Oh my god, I found it! Okay. Automatically manage signing. Cancel. I select a personal team. Got it. Great. Apple development signing certificate. Okay, I think that's correct. Yo, what's going on, Christian? There's the bundle identifier. Where is that? General identifier one. Okay, sure. Code signing to iOS developer. And capabilities. Did I already did this, right? Provision profile to automatic. Where is that? Is this an old answer? Oh, this is from 2016. Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right. I think... Oh, signing is here. Okay. Under signing... What is the other thing it's saying? Development team, debug. Okay, that's fine. Versioning. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, I think this is accurate. All right, let's go back to this. Now let's try it again. Build failed. Fuck. Why? Validate project settings. Whatever. Did I not already do that? Signing in capabilities. Yeah, I'm signing my personal team. Automatically manage signing. Add capabilities by pressing the plus. What capabilities do I have to have? I don't think it needs anything. I already have a development team. I don't know what it's on about here. Okay, so just so I'm not crazy, right? Just so I'm not crazy. My mouse is like lagging a little bit. So we'll go to tabletop, right? Or actually we go to here, sorry. Oh, what is going on here? Y'all, please. All debug release. I don't know why my mouse is lagging. Please, mouse. You see this? I have a team. I have a team set. I have a bundle identifier. Application bundle. Target membership. Tabletop? I don't know what that means. Oh, did that work? Did I just have to say the app was part of the membership? No. Signing requires a development team. Select a development team. Okay, let's look at tabletop tests. Yeah, I have a fucking thing. What is going on here? All right, let's look through all the things. General, we have a bundle identifier, main interface, development assets. Don't need any of those. Signing and capabilities. Signing, great. I don't need any capabilities, I don't think. Resource tags. Info, bundle display name, build settings, linking, packaging, signing. So setting, development team, my personal team, debug release, personal team. It's all there. What's going on? Okay, build phases. Check pods manifest, compile sources. I don't really care about that. Build rules. I don't think I should mess with any of those. Here's what I'm gonna do too. I'm gonna close out of Xcode. We're gonna reopen Xcode. So maybe if I've made changes, it has to like restart. I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. Reopen tabletop. Today 852 processing. Let's run a build. Building. It's doing more this time. I'm not gonna get my hopes up, but so this is following the revelation that I didn't know I could put the app on my phone without paying money, and I can, which I'm very excited about. So I'm trying to get it on my phone. That's what's trying to happen here. I just can't distribute it to other people without paying money, which kind of makes sense, but it's gonna be a while before it's working well enough to distribute to other people anyways, so you know, that's fine. This is taking 10 years, so that's good too. And then yeah, once I'm pretty sure we have a physical Android device around here somewhere, so I'll have to go looking for that, and then you know, I can do that later. This is like the first time I'm doing a full build. That's why it's taking 10 years, or what's going on? I've never built it from Xcode before, so React Native has like a CLI that I use normally, so I assume that's why this is taking forever. God, it's taking 10 years. Did that other editor go away? Alright, we're running Metro Bundler, apparently? Build failed, no! Please! Oh, God. Tabltop test.exe test, no such directory. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I'll be honest. I don't know what the hell is going on here, and this I think is going to take a little bit for me to figure out, and it's not going to be very interesting, and I don't absolutely need to do it right now anyways, so we're not going to worry about it. What I'm going to do is it's 9 o'clock, so we've been streaming for a little over 3 hours now, and that's longer, honestly, than I expected to go. Anyways, I got a lot done today. I feel like I got a lot in terms of the app is like completely panned out, and I have like a bunch of Trello cards of things to do, and I feel like I'm on a better spot in terms of how I'm going to do things. What this means is the next stream will be an actual development stream fully. This stream is not really a development stream. So if you're interested more in the coding part of this, come back then. In terms of when the next stream will be, it'll probably be this weekend sometime. I don't know when. Maybe Saturday. I guess today's Thursday. So yeah, it's like 2 days from now. So the easiest way to figure it out, follow me on Twitch. You'll get notifications there. Also follow me on Twitter at Reno and Mo. I don't have a link yet because I need to do it. But I'll let everyone know when I'm going live then via those channels, and you'll be able to know. So sorry this was not development, but I'm really excited. I feel like we have everything planned out. I think this app's going to be really fucking cool, so we just need to get it built. That's what's important. So thanks. Well, yeah, thank you everyone who contributed, like just with their thoughts and stuff today. That helped a lot, and I feel like we got a really good plan in place. So yes, project management, man, hell yeah. Yeah, and that's also. I hope everyone has a great rest of your night, and yeah, just keep keep your eyes peeled for when I'll be streaming next, which hopefully should be soon. So, and I'll see you all later. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night.